It says 1819 route and a route increase. In the handbook, they actually have for years of service, almost like a labor grade bump. They move over after a certain amount of years of service. None of those individuals actually were in a place where they would move over again. Otherwise, there would have been a route increase there in addition to CPI. So we see those changes. And then in the world of our secretaries, we made some changes last year in their compensation, so this year it's more of a CPI increase. So the two that have lines through, they're valuable members, they are the ones that are leaving the school district, so they're not a part of the increases. And we still need, from what I know, across the board.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would be the more detail that I think you might need. If you have any questions, would be for the special education paras. I have that document here if you'd like.
Anybody have any questions that they want? Any questions?
Do all the 40-hour people get full benefits?
Depends. Yeah, if they work
If
40
qualify,
hours,
they're offered
40 hours fiscal year, full benefit package. 40 hours school year, depending on the position, it's a pro. They are offered
They're offered
insurance,
it, okay.
but
Okay.
it's a half
Okay,
of a
they're not
single plan.
necessarily full.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Jim?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 4-0-2. Resolution 1920-48, approval to hire Carrie Hurst, kindergarten teaching position.
So moved.
Motion by Dick. Second by Joel. Becky?
It's as though she's returned home. Carrie started her student teaching career and her teaching career right here in Mayville. She was a Parkview Primary first grade teacher for a number of years, made her way to St. Mary Springs, where she's been teaching kindergarten for the last 3, and had the opportunity when this kindergarten position opened. Carrie was interested in coming back to Mayville. She's lived within the Mayville community forever. She's a graduate of Mayville and just wanted to be back within the confines of her own community. So we were very excited to be able to offer the position of the new kindergarten teacher to Carrie Hurst.
Okay, any questions on Carrie Hurst reapproval? Dick?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carried 4-0-2. Let's go to resolution 1920-50, approval of law firm of Bulow, Vetter, Lukma, Olson, and Valit.
They sound expensive.
Need a motion. They all are. Since they are not on our current list, we need to approve them. Need a motion? And we can tell why.
Yeah.
So moved.
Motion by Jim, second by Joe.
I can speak to it, and Kara can chime in too. So, in the world of special education law, there is someone that is well known in the state of Wisconsin that most public schools work with, or the vast majority. And I've had years worth of experience from being a CISA 7, which was up in Sheboygan Falls. We worked with Mary Gerby, who used to work with David and Kielthal. So David Kielthal is one of the board-approved law firms. Well, Mary recently switched firms, and they put out a public statement about the change, celebrating her move, and then reached out to us, and we have to make a decision. Are we sticking with David and Kielthal for the consulting services, or are we going with Mary? When Kara and I discussed it was a no-brainer, we want to continue to work with Mary, who is known in the state of Wisconsin as one of the special education law, specialists, not to overuse the word. Guru. Right, guru, exactly. So to us, it's not really a change in funds, it's just we wanted to make sure that you were aware that may show up on the invoice, that Mary Gerby is still the same name for services, she's just with a different firm. Kara, anything to add?
Nope.
That was simple.
Any questions on this law firm? Jim?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-51, approval to hire Lisa Skupinski for food service.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Jim.
So Nikki's not here, and it's a pretty simple hire. It is for 5 hours a day for when school is in session. So all food service really is for working during the school year. So what that means is if we have 173 days of school, it's going to be 173 days of so the rate of pay for the starting position is $10.50 an hour. And I know that Nikki has been trying to build a team and is excited to have what I believe is now a fully staffed department.
Okay. Any questions on this approval to hire? Joe?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-53, approval of MOU for Tammy Dale for literacy intervention support services.
So moved.
Motion by Joe. Seconded.
Second.
Jim.
Okay, so Tammy Dale is a retired, literally a literacy intervention specialist for the school district in the past. Last year, she worked for us in a very similar position. We actually see a slight increase in her time. Carrie Matheson is continuing to serve us in the role of K-8 Curriculum and Instruction Director, I will use as a position. Coordinator would be okay too. So that we saw a lot of network meetings and out of the building time and coming to the administrative team meetings. So as a result, we want to make sure that there's the appropriate amount of support. So this is a slight increase in the funds allotted for this. The duties are very similar to what were last year. We just want to make sure there's consistency for the students. So goal is that it's 3 days a week to provide those interventions. The position is primarily for 6 through 8 students at Mayville Middle School. So she can support other areas, but we're trying to be very specific. Job is supporting Title I student interventions, often the younger students in the building. So 6 through 8 classrooms and then Title I.
Any questions on this MOU for Tammy? Joe?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 402. Resolution 1920-54, approved to hire Patricia Lace for half-time speech teacher.
So moved.
Motion by Dick,
Second.
second by Joe. You just can't stay away.
No, we don't. No.
Pat's a wonderful employee. We're very fortunate to have her come back and work with us in a part-time capacity. So Pat is able to officially retire, and then I asked the question while we're all at the Wisconsin retirement meeting, how many hours a week can we ask? I wanted to make sure. So how many hours?
But were they correct?
They are correct,
Okay,
absolutely.
just check.
And then we're well within the threshold, so she could be up to 2/3. And we just thought it'd be, well, one, this position is based upon student IEPs and needs. And we are pretty much continuing Pat in the role, like we had a contracted service last year at the same hourly wage that Pat has. So she'll be working 50% of the time. It's for 192 days. She actually missed a few days at the beginning of the school year. So great, no problem. We'll be using that for additional time to be working with students. So her time here is all directly providing services to kids. So there's not a lot of, during in-service, she'll be able to join us, but actually we may be using that time instead to be working directly with kids, providing that support. So when we talk about speech services, Karen, is she going to be at both middle school and Parkview?
Yes, she'll
Yeah,
have
okay.
Parkview in the middle school.
Good.
Any questions on this contract for Pat Lace? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 402.
I know the motion carried, I do want to share something for Phil. So like when you have a position like this, it comes with, so the salary and then FICA. That's the piece. So it's very cost effective for us, so it's a win for the school district.
How many years before she can do full-time again?
I don't think ever.
I don't think there
No,
was.
it's not something to go.
I was one. There was.
No.
She, you know, the reality is she can go to private sector and do
She could-
anything, but in public schools, you have to be below that 2/3.
Nobody ever retires, do
Resolution 1920-49, approval of appointment of school board member. Need a motion to conduct an interview. Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Dick. So Jenny, you want to come forward, please, and we will, you have the,
Interrogate?
You want something for everybody, or you just come up with questions? I didn't know.
well, Dick is sharing.
You got one? You got one? Okay, great, perfect.
You guys can share.
All right. Thanks for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I left the varsity soccer game early, you guys, to
Yeah.
get here for this. It wasn't looking good when I left. It was 2-0.
So, I'll just go through what the process is. There's a board vacancy, as you know. So the board will have the opportunity to interview you for the current vacancy, followed by a board vote. And the vacancy will be filled by you if approved, that receives the majority vote. The term will begin September 16th at the next board meeting with oath of office and end on April 30th, 2020. So board members' duties are to attend 2 board meetings a month in addition to board committee meetings that are scheduled as needed. Board members are asked to review board packets prior to the regular scheduled meetings and encouraged to contact the district administrator with any questions that they may have pertaining to board meeting agendas. So the interview process that we'll have, we have 5 prepared questions that we have for you. And then there will be time after the questions are complete for you to ask your own questions. So, Jim, you want to take the first question?
Sure. Jennifer, would you please introduce yourself and share why you want to be appointed to the school board? And what are the contributions you think you can make to the leadership of the district?
So my name is Jennifer L.W. Fink. Many of you already know me in other capacities. I grew up in Mayville. I attended St. Mary's through 8th grade, attended Mayville High School, graduated class of 90, and I've been at least a moderately successful adult thanks to the education I've received here. Moved back to Mayville in the year 2000, and we have 4 sons. And as you were talking about the various outreach the community is doing, we've done it all. We've done private school, we homeschooled, and the kids are now in school, as I call it. I have a deep interest in education and have long been interested in education. The years of homeschooling further fed that. In my professional career, I am a freelance writer, and I've been writing about education for various education publications for probably the last decade or so. So in the course of that, I've done a lot of learning about educational trends, and I've interviewed a lot of really smart, very passionate educators and administrators throughout the country. And I strongly believe that education is the heart of everything that we need to do with our kids and the support that our schools provide for our children and our families. In terms of things that I can bring to the board and to leadership, I have past experience serving on committees and boards. I've been a member of the American Society of Journalists and Authors since, I think, 1999 now, and I served on their board for, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but for probably 4 years or so, and have helped plan committees, plan conferences, and served on committees. So I have experience working with groups of people and those 4 kids that I mentioned. leadership abilities right there.
All right, thanks. Joe, you want to take the next?
Sure. What do you think should be the top priorities for the school board to focus on to improve student achievement during the next 1 to 5 years, and why?
That is a difficult question to answer without, obviously, I don't have all of the data that you guys have. I think that top priorities to focus on, and I hear so much of this happening already, it really is all about creating relationships with students, families, and the community, and then providing the educators with the support that they need to further build those relationships. That's the best I can tell you right now without knowing the details of everything going on in the district. I know that as a parent, I have seen a lot of things that I've been impressed with in recent years, and so I want to be part of the district stepping forward.
Okay, that goes right with this one. What do you see as the current strengths of the school district that the board should work to maintain going forward?
Current strengths. I think that our school district has a good relationship with the community and with the families. It's partly because we're a small community, but the school is this rallying point. It's this commonality for all of us. And so I think we can continue on and build on that. The referendum that passed and all the work that's been done shows a lot of support, I think, in general for education, for what's going on in the community. And so to continue to take that and build on that, I also see that there's been a push towards thinking about how can our schools best serve our students and our communities. Are we preparing our students to meet the needs of the community and their communities of the future? And I want to continue to build that.
Describe your understanding of the school board's role and the administration's role in the school district.
My understanding is that the school board is obligated by the laws of the state, and we are obligated to our duties to the citizens. So the school board provides fiscal oversight as well as making sure that the district is meeting its educational, and I can't think of the word, and I'm a writer, obligations. You know, the state sets what those obligations are, and it's the school district's school board's responsibility to make sure that those things are happening on a local level in a responsible way. As I see it, the administration's role is to then operationalize all of that, take it down to the nuts and bolts and what's happening on a daily basis in the schools and in the classrooms. I don't think it's the board's job to tell the teachers what to do. The board's job is to oversee and provide the resources.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. What specific prior involvement have you had with the district schools? In what capacity are you currently an active member of the community?
I mentioned I was a student in the schools. I am now a parent of students in the schools. I still have 2 left, a junior and an 8th grader as of today. I did do a little bit of writing work for the district a couple years ago, helped lead with some of that, with the newsletter stuff. A couple years ago I did some volunteering at Parkview, listening to kids read. Pretty much my primary role in the community is as a parent, raising additional citizens. And I'm an active member of the Methodist Church as well.
All right, thank you. Do you have any questions of the board?
I'm curious about what kinds of orientation and education and support are provided for board members, because obviously this has been going on for a while.
The bad part is it's the wrong time of the year, because usually right after the election, there's a lot of in-service insights.
Sure.
Wisconsin, the School Boards Association. But there is a few good ones coming up in November.
Yeah.
And There's November and the Pewaukee one, so there is ones coming up.
And then you'll also, sit down with Scott and myself to go over what the committees are and what committee you'd be put on, just any questions that you have to answer or that you would have about your role on the board.
And obviously, the expectation is that board members are at board meetings. Certainly, there are instances where things come up. How is that handled, and is there a, if you miss so many?
It's usually, we've never had a problem. Obviously, we have a situation we've got, Nubby has been helped with an illness, but and we've had some resignations. Otherwise, if you have something that you have to do, that's fine. Just let us know if you're not going to be able to make it, and we will work around that.
Scott and you gotta learn to communicate when they call each other, like board members come in, so you know who is missing.
So you don't cancel a meeting.
The other thing I'd mention as far as upcoming training would be the school board convention in
Yes,
January.
the state convention.
And that's very good. That one you need
It's
to.
probably the best training you can
That's
do.
the third week in January.
Very good for young.
It's good you guys let me know this now, because I need to. I need to plan to go somewhere warm in about January. It's not been planned yet.
That's going south. That's Milwaukee.
That's not south enough that time of year.
It's the coldest week of the year.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Great time for a conference in Milwaukee.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, at this time, I would like to do a paper ballot, just to put your name on it, and then if you approve Jennifer, just put Jennifer's name on it, and then Scott will come around and pick them up.
Have you been out there the whole time, Patty? I have. I would have asked you how the first day of school went. We didn't see you out there.
Thanks for coming. Right, got it.
All right, now I would like somebody to amend the resolution that we have to include Jennifer Fink's name in this resolution.
So moved to amend 1229-49 to add Jennifer Fink.
Motion by Jim, is there a second?
Well, second.
Second by Dick. Any questions on amending this resolution to include Jennifer Fink as the new appointment for board member? Jim?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 4-0-2. Now we need to vote on the amended resolution, which includes now Jennifer Fink as the appointed school board member. Any questions on this amended resolution? Joe?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion carried 4-0-2. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
You will take, come up here and we'll.
Oh.
Yeah,
All
congratulations.
right.
Make it official.
Thank you. My hands are
But still not
freezing.
official. Official, almost. An oath.
Yes,
Hi.
next meeting you will take,
Hi.
at the beginning of the meeting, you will have a oath of office for you to take. I will not be at the next meeting, so.
That's all I gotta do now.
So there'll
Gotta
be
do
some
it.
email about next meeting
Yep.
times and all that.
Yep.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, welcome.
Thank
So,
you.
You have a lot to learn in the next couple of months.
I do.
Okay. Any old business? Additional citizen comments? Announcements?
I guess one little comment I'd make, and I'm not pointing this at our coaches,